I think we're pretty special. We get a lot of rain here, which is why we're so green and beautiful. We are the king salmon capital of the world, so we're proud of that. Anywhere you go, you probably could see a nice bit of our culture and heritage. There's a lot to see, a lot to do, a lot to take in.
Creek Street is our old red light district. 23 brothels there on the creek at one time. You get to visit the old buildings that were part of the most famous creek in the world.
People should come to Saxman Native Village because it's not just a tour. We bring you into our home. Our guests see our culture being passed down from generation to generation, and this is how we live.
The Cultural Discovery is a wonderful, well-rounded tour. You'll be learning about the eagles that we have in the area, about the salmon runs. You'll be learning about the old totem poles that we're still preserving in our community to help bring back the culture, the history, the heritage of the natives in the area. It's all of these great things in one tour.
The Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show is a great place to come and check out the sport for the first time. We do 3 choppings, we have the speed climbing and the log rolling. It's the easiest thing to learn, the hardest thing to master. You can't stress how much fun it is for us out here. And, you know, having people clap and cheer for you at work, I mean, you can't beat that, can you?
This tour, Rainforest Island Adventure, you're really just here to appreciate and enjoy nature and see a part of the world that you've never seen before. We're going to board our 30-foot long Seahawks, see some eagle islands, bald eagle nests. The nature walk is a nice, calm boardwalk trail. When you take a corner and the sun's just hitting the trail just right, some people just stop and they freeze. It's just so indescribably beautiful here.
Rainforest Ropes and Zipline Park is a huge jungle gym. It's set at the beautiful Knutson Cove. It feels kind of like an Ewok village out here. One of the cool things is that you have to get across a challenge element to earn your zip line. You do a zip and then, oh, there's another zip line there, and then you get to the next one and it's like, well, what is this stuff I've got to do now? When people get back on the bus saying, I had a great time, this was awesome, it feels good.
Get to these small towns in Alaska. They're beautiful little towns, but to really see Alaska, you have to get out, either on a float plane or a boat. You've got to get back behind the hills and really see what's back there. Neats Bay is a beautiful bay, and at the end of the bay is a hatchery, and the hatchery is right on a bear viewing creek.
Bears aren't aggressive here. It's all about food, and the food for these bears are right in front of them. This is part of their ritual in the summers to put as much fat on for the winter hibernation, and they do it right here.
Misty Fjord's got its name for a very good reason. It rains an awful lot here, over 200 inches, and there's always this low-lying mist laying around, and so it just has that mysterious appearance to it.
I blow everybody away when we get out here. It's just like, oh my gosh, I just had no idea. This was back here, it's amazing.
Wow, this is spectacular. And I see why they call it Misty.
It's unbelievable.
It's hard to say what just one of the most fascinating things about the Misty Fjords Monument is, because absolutely everything has a meaning out here. We go 55 miles out of town to this heavily protected area of wilderness, all the way out there to see Rudyard Bay and Punchbowl Cove. And this is where all the massive 3,000-foot vertical cliffs are. Most people expect to see beautiful scenery, but I think what they walk away with is just an overall sense of awe.
This particular tour is very representative of Alaska fishing, and it's not a cattle car type experience. It gives her a good way to fish up here. There's lots of elbow room. Everybody has their own poles. Everybody's taught to fish. We don't do it for you. Kind of stand on your own there once you've been shown how to do it. Lunch is prepared at a very remote wilderness site. It features the fish that you've caught. Very personal and very much in tune with the Alaska wilderness.
Subsistence in Alaska has to do with any food that you're harvesting for your own personal consumption. I grew up harvesting seaweed and gathering beach asparagus in the summer and, working on fish and, getting clams and cockles on the beach in the wintertime and taking them home and making chowder and doing these things year round. And I just kind of assumed that everybody did that kind of stuff, and it wasn't until I left and really traveled and met people in so many different places that I realized how special it was to do that. And there's not a lot of places you really can do that, It's mainly the native households that have the wide variety of subsistence foods as a part of their diet. Not just the salmon and venison and clams and cockles. You have beach asparagus and seaweed and the berries and herring eggs on kelp or on hemlock branches. Salmon it's the heart of subsistence here, really.
The hatchery was started by the state here in 1954. And the hatcheries at that time were being developed to supplement fish from over harvesting. The important thing is that we're continuing to enhance our fisheries, and it allows us also to have fish for our elders and fish for our programs. Like everybody else, we put up fish, and we have it throughout the winter.
Everything's centered around our salmon. So as a result, we would leave our winter home and come here to Ketchikan, because that's where the salmon were, and stay here till the fish were gone. Our wealth was in our food. If we had 15 or 25 cases of smoked salmon, we were a very rich family.
It's a different feeling when you're working really hard and you pull 150 fish on the boat or whatever it is, and they're all flopping around your feet, and it's a really amazing feeling. And all that fish is something you're going to bring home to eventually feed yourself and your family. There's a different feeling associated, I think, with that kind of fishing. It's nice to have all that because I can share it as well. So I give some to my mom and to my grandparents and my aunts, and it feels good to do that.
Regalia was made out of cedar bark, pounded cedar bark. You soaked your cedar bark for 14 days, and then you let it dry out, and then you pounded it and made it soft, and then you wove it into a cape, and you painted your design on there. And when the Russians came in and started trading for furs, then we came across the Hudson Bay blankets and start making our robes out of that. And by the time My dad started teaching me it was the red wool. And then now you'll see a lot of our dancers use ultra suede because it's lighter and it's easier to wear. It doesn't wrinkle. Like we have to press out our robes every time we want to perform with the wool. They don't. They shake it out and it's ready to go. It's your family crest on your back. That's how you're recognized through southeastern Alaska. I can go from here anywhere in southeastern and I'll look at my design and say, oh, you belong to that family in Heidelberg. There's very few of us left of double-headed eagles, so they know who we are. You'll see in the dance group that about 70% of the dance group is double-headed eagle. That's all my family. All their regalia I made. It took me a year to do a robe with him when I was first learning. It takes me 2 weeks now to put one together.
One of the things with Raven's Tail is it is a loomed weave. So you thigh spin the merino wool in this case. Now we use merino wool instead of mountain goat. But you thigh spin it and then you loom it on a freeform loom and then you weave it across one by one. It's all geometric, which is nice. So if you're good with numbers, then you're able to go ahead and really do well. If you're not good with numbers, hopefully you have a friend who is good with numbers to help out. It generally tends to be 9 months to a year and a half of a lady's time or several ladies' times. And it's a style of weaving that was talked about in Cook's research when he first came. He described these white and black robes, but none of them were collected in full pieces. So what ended up happening is pieces went to the Hamburg Museum, all sorts of different museums around the world, and a lady by the name of Cheryl Samuels, who was a weaver of textiles, got them together and pieced them together and saw that these were indeed pieces of robes. And so she started weaving, and then she in turn started teaching. And so you'll find that this Raven's Tail weaving again is very popular and people are really weaving. And they would have been worn by matriarchs and chiefs. People of really high status would have worn them.
It is a close-knit community. You know, I don't know whether we've all run from something or we've all run to something, but we're all here.
Traditional is right up out of the roots of this country. If you want to look at cultural art as an influence in society, you're going to see it everywhere.
I get a lot of people saying this is the best times they've had in their lives.
Southeast Alaska, God's country. Ketchikan's the heart of it all.
If you're looking out the window, you're not going to want your money back.
It's unlike anything else in the world, and they get to see stuff here they wouldn't see anywhere.
If you're proud of your background, you reflect yourself well with people. You become an ambassador. So that's our hope, that they enjoy their stay and they learn something about us.
For the most part, art is happening in the winter months because that's, of course, when it's raining buckets and people don't really want to be outside and fishing isn't good, you know, so they're inside making stuff and or learning or playing music. So our months are very busy, September through May. with one of the busiest months being February. With the Wearable Art Show, there's a quilt show, there's Jazz Cabaret Festival, there's all sorts of stuff happening right in the dead of winter.
You know, we'll go crazy if we don't do something with it, so.
Well, we all drink from the same water here, right? So we all are drinking from the same well, as it were, the rain. The rain is kind of a unifying factor, I think. You know, what are you gonna do when it's raining all that, you know, almost 200 inches a year, other than art?
The Harriman expedition decided to stop at Cape Fox Village. The whole entire crew of the expedition got off, and they decided that they would start digging up totem poles. In 1991, President Bush, #1, formed the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act, which allows Native groups and tribes to get artifacts back from museums across the nation. The management at the time of Cape Fox said, well, here's a book of the Harriman expedition. See if there's any artifacts that we can get back that belong to the Cape Fox people. And eventually, we tracked down almost every single piece that the Harriman expedition had taken. Some of those pieces have a story that a clan owned that explained the history of their clan from time immemorial. It was hard to understand why would people just dig it up and take it with them. And so a lot of us were upset. The people started realizing the Harriman expedition taking those pieces, they were still around for us in 2001. You know, if they were still left in the village, the totem poles, would have fell down and went back to the earth. And, we identified a lot of history from that, project that, we are able to now tell the history to our children, now to, grandchildren. The ceremony that we had in 2001 was called the 100 Years of Healing. Even the Harriman family, the great niece, she brought her husband and her baby. We ended up doing a ceremony, and she gave a quilt, I believe it was from 1813 or something like that her family had made, and said, we apologize. And we accepted it. It put a closure to, the whole feeling like things were stolen, we could now move on.
With plenty of wide open space, Ketchikan is just a short trip from Seattle. Alaska awaits. this and more in Ketchikan, Alaska. Make this your year for Alaska. Visit Ketchikan.
Yeah, this is my second year. Mostly seeing old friends. I've probably seen a dozen people today that I haven't seen in 5 to 10 years.
More like get myself known. It's good, lots of people talking to me, which is good.
I have been doing the Blueberry Festival for 25 years. It's just a great social event. People come by and want to see what's new.
We've got the ocean just right here. You can smell the salt water. It's rugged. It's a good place.
Alaska is like the most amazing place. I mean, you can just do anything you want in Alaska. There's so much inspiration. Just colors, trees, the plants, the sky, the fish. I mean, it's not even just artwork. It's like any type of entrepreneurial endeavor. I think it can happen in Alaska. I mean, it's like the last frontier.
This is one of my most favorite pieces. It's the one that a lot of Alaskans can relate to. It's called the Alaska Closet. Lisa Murkowski just came by and got one of these for her office back in Washington.
I get to see the whole community and just amazed at some of the arts and crafts that people do.
We do a lot of marine-y looking things, you know, and the beauty of the quilts that people make around here is just amazing.
Ketchikan's a great place to be if you have strong outdoor interests and indoor interests, then you survive really well here.
It is a big picture experience about seafood in Ketchikan. This meal is really meant to show seafood as it should be. Simple and excellent, and it's going to be cooked right in front of you. There'll be a story woven around amongst all of the seafood about where it came from, how it was caught, who caught it, how it was prepared, so you have an in-depth understanding of what you're eating and what it means to Ketchikan. This is a communal style dining experience, very interactive between the host and the chef and the guest, kind of like going back into the dining room in a cannery. You're going to get 11 different seafood tastings, over 6 different courses, and the best part of this experience is people grasping that fundamental truth about what seafood is to Ketchikan. You want to sit down and brag about your vacation to Alaska? You can do that by serving this meal.
Experience Ketchikan from on top of the world.
Your local guide will point out the Pacific Ocean, the Tongass Narrows, and the whole town of Ketchikan for you to view and take as many pictures as you'd like. This exclusive helicopter tour highlights landing on Anvil Mountain. Take in the 360-degree views as you fly up 1,800 feet up the Canadian Rockies, landing on the mountain top. With this one-of-a-kind tour, you will experience Ketchikan like never before.
With plenty of wide open space, Ketchikan is just a short trip from Seattle. All this and more in Ketchikan, Alaska. Make this your year for Alaska. Visit Ketchikan.
Hi, this is Jennifer. I will be out of the office until Monday and won't be checking voicemail during this time. I'll reply just as soon as I get back to work.
Sail with the #1 cruise line in Alaska. Princess Cruises, come back new.
I'd say my favorite experience at Salmon Falls is probably waking up early in the morning, getting out on a boat on a nice, sunny, clear day, and heading out to one of my favorite fishing spots and just taking it all in and catching a nice, beautiful salmon. People are treated like family when they come to Salmon Falls. From the time they get out of the airport to the time they check out, and there's somebody there helping them along the way. So the fishing experience at Salmon Falls, you wake up in the morning, you go get your breakfast, then you head on down to the marina. We have two different fishing experiences. One is fully guided, that's with a captain.
In truth, you really don't need to know a lot about fishing. If you know what you're doing, fantastic, I'll get out of your way. A lot of people like the guide to do everything.
Our new boats are 27.5-foot custom-built aluminum boats. They are wonderful boats for on the water, can accommodate up to 6 people comfortably.
We will be able to provide you with all the tools that you need to catch beautiful fish, and we're also going to provide you with the coaching and the teaching that you need to get on the fish. We will take care of your needs from start to finish. From there, it's just catching fish. And then our second experience is a self-guided boat, and so you'll go out on one of our 18-foot skiffs.
Did I get my best side?
Guests can rent one of those for the day, whether that's for fishing or for sightseeing on the water.
We do provide everything, though, on both experiences, so that's rod, reel, bait, tackle, and we process the fish as well.
People go back and have hopefully a year's worth of fish.
For guests that have never been up to Alaska before, you can expect a true, authentic Alaskan experience. Bring all your loved ones up here, but also corporate retreats. It's a good business bonding experience.
The patio amenities are fun, so we have a beautiful fireplace where people can relax, enjoy, and we also have some fun games for the family. So the restaurant at Salmon Falls is known as Timbers. Timbers is a beautiful restaurant where we've tried to focus on some specific food items. We have halibut, salmon, we have a beautiful seafood pasta. A lot of our inspiration for our menu comes from all over the world. The food is fantastic. If you travel to Ketchikan by cruise ship, we do have the availability to pick you up and take you out here for a beautiful lunch. At Salmon Falls, we have some third-party vendors that we use and that we think our guests would really enjoy. One of those trips is a float plane trip that picks up right at our dock. We've had many guests come back and really love that experience, and I think it's a great way to see Southeast Alaska. And one of the other vendors that we use quite often here at Salmon Falls is Hump Island. They will take you out and give you a full tour and show you what it's like to grow oysters in this area. There's some beautiful hiking in the area. We're about 2 miles from Settlers Cove. We can give you a ride in one of our shuttles up there to some pristine hiking trails, and you can really get out and feel the beautiful nature and what it's like to be in Tongass National Forest. Our spots at Salmon Falls do fill up rather quick, so we do encourage you guys to book as soon as you can. Come fishing with us at Salmon Falls Resort.
All in all, this is a great tour. It's just a beautiful environment to get to know. With this tour, you get a chance to see an awful lot of the diversity that we have on this island. You have beautiful mountains, an ocean right here in front, great diversity in our culture here. I'm going to take you on a city loop, show you some of the highlights of the sights that we have here in the city. From there, after we go out to Saxon Native Village, where I'm going to teach you about Native history, about Native culture, about living in a clan house, and we're going to tell some totem stories and teach you about the different types of totems. We're going to take you over to the Salmon Ladder. A series of steps that go up where the waterfall is helps the salmon climb the creek. And of course, we're going to also take you to Creek Street. 23 brothels there on the creek at one time. And the guests really love this tour because all you get to see and do in such a quick time in a relaxed atmosphere riding on the fun little trolley.
This tour, you're really just here to appreciate and enjoy nature and see a part of the world that you've never seen before. The people that want to do this tour want just 365-degree view of the nature around them. We're going to outfit you with life jackets and rain gear, and we're going to board our 30-foot-long Seahawks. We're going to see some eagle islands, bald eagle nests, and to see things that very few people see. We head on to Orca Beach, where we have a nice, big, cathedral-like canopy. When you take a corner and the sun's just hitting the trail just right, some people just stop and they freeze. It's just so indescribably beautiful here. I truly love to see people experience the Tongass National Forest. This is the way to see the true Alaska. I love it here.
With plenty of wide open space, Ketchikan is just a short trip from Seattle. All this and more in Ketchikan, Alaska. Make this your year for Alaska. Visit Ketchikan.